Alright, let's talk about our latest gameplay of Expedition 33. So I've gotten roughly about 7 hours into the game so far. Specifically just past the Jestrel's village and battling in the arena. And so I gotta tell you that, like, I could have spent hours in their village. Like, there's so much to explore, so much to see, so many creatures to talk to. I know they speak a different language, so the subtitles are necessary, I guess. I hate it. I hate having to read subtitles. But walking through the village, I kind of cut my exploration short in the village just because I wanted to keep continuing with the storyline of the game and going to meet the chief. But I loved the lore and the mythos of the Jestrel. So I thought visually it was really great. I thought storyline, whatever, it fits truly into like the main storyline. I loved everything about it. However, when you go to the arena to fight, the only thing I wish would have been done a little bit different, right? And this is probably a little bit nitpicky, but when you're talking to the chief, you're building up the arena and what you have to do, and you have to go fight, right, in order to get the password. Which the password was dumb, but that kind of fits, the mythos of the creatures. But I didn't really like the fact that when we go to the arena, it's just you're talking to the guy outside, and it's just like, here's your next battle, here's your next battle, here's your next battle. Until you get to that fourth battle where you meet the other person that's, within the exploration with you, or expedition with you, excuse me. It wasn't until then that, like, I felt like it was something truly, like, awe-inspiring and really cool, like the bout in the arena. So I wish there would have been a little bit more there. A little bit more build up, things like that. I think of like Final Fantasy VII, the remake, whenever like they're having a battle in the arena, or maybe it's a Rebirth, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, with the big house. How there was like this big lore behind it, and there was this build up and a lot of visuals that went into it, and the cheering of the fans and all that kind of stuff. I just wish there had been more of that with the arena, but it's fine. Right? Okay, that's probably a little bit nitpicky. But I passed through the arena, ended up getting the password, get out of my way, which I thought was dumb but funny. Don't challenge the chief. I don't think I'm like super far behind on my development of characters, but I got my ass kicked. Like, you're not going to beat the chief. Like, I mean, there's nothing that happens if you don't, other than you kind of get made fun of by the chief. So you're not going to beat him. So I'm just telling you that right now. I highly doubt you will. I'm sure there's going to be a time where I can come back and visit the chief again to try to win. And I'm sure there's some kind of grand prize for beating the chief. But he definitely 100% kicked my ass. So let's talk about the vision that old girl had, right? I'm terrible with character names, but you know what I'm talking about. The young girl who saw the woman with the white hair and then saw the man with the white beard. I will tell you, that vision sequence was so cinematic. And I probably will do an editorial video after I'm done playing this game, because I do think, like, so far, I'm only 7 hours in, I think this movie would make for this game would make for one hell of a movie. It's so cinematic in nature and the way it's developed. And when that white-haired woman comes in and everything goes black and white on the screen, and you can tell you're in that kind of vision, of that premonition with her, and man, like, that was just, it was fantastic. It really was. Like, I am at a loss for words to describe how cool that scene was. Obviously left a lot more questions than gave us answers, so I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how that plays out and how that develops. But yeah, that was just a really, like it would have been easy for this game, because a lot of games do it, just to rush through this vision and not take the time to really set it apart. Maybe you kind of darken the screen around the edges to let you know this is different from what the actual gameplay is. But the visual touch to go black and white with that sequence just was fantastic. So I took time out of gameplay to be able to make this video because I felt like it was a good stopping point to talk about this video. I'm jumping right back in. So stay tuned for more daily gaming journal.